They all tasted the wrath of God, because everything in life has a fruit. If your spiritual trees have deep roots, even the strongest wind cannot overthrow you. This truth is the secret of the divinely protected. Your destiny is not based on weak waves, but on a strong, divine plan. They misunderstood your humility. They thought you were naive and soft, but they did not realize the deep power in you. They thought that your silence was a sign of weakness, whereas your silence was a sign of infinite wisdom and a strong spirit. This delusion was the greatest trap for those who walk in arrogance. Yes, you are the chosen ones, protected by a halo of holiness that surrounds you. They despised the plan of the universe, thinking that your paths had crossed by chance. They could grasp neither the meaning nor the depth. They saw their small victories as an illusion of eternal control, but their game soon came to naught. The manipulations, the false victories, gave them only a brief satisfaction. The thrill of reaching the top blinded them. Arrogance prevented them from discerning what was dangerous. It was as if this intoxication overshadowed everything else as they moved step by step towards the fall that awaited them. What they failed to see was the depth of your divine purpose. Your existence on this earth was not random, but part of a higher order. Their meeting with you was no coincidence. Your paths crossing was part of a plan laid down by a greater consciousness. As you walked under that spiritual protection, each blow actually served a greater good. In those difficult moments when invisible hands shielded you, you were surrounded by an indestructible power. They missed this fact. They saw karma as a myth to be laughed at. They underestimated the seriousness of divine justice. But the laws of the universe are not subject to human arrogance. Caught up in their little games, they could never comprehend the divine power in you. For them, this story may be a game designed for their immediate benefit, but you are here to serve a greater purpose. And now, they have to pay the price for every step they have taken in arrogance. As the wheels of the divine plan turn, they feel the justice that smacks them in the face with the consequences of their own actions, not the echoes of what they have done in the past. Every trap they designed for you now surrounds them. Every seed they planted is coming up against them in a way they did not expect. And you, as a chosen soul, have exalted power. When they attacked a chosen one with their own hands, they attracted powerful energies into their lives, energies that are hard to forgive, energies that do not forget. Each stone they directed at you signaled the beginning of a chain reaction, and they were unable to avoid the backlash. Lacking the light of wisdom, they were indifferent to the consequences of their actions, ignoring deep spiritual truths. They failed to grasp the most basic law of life, that whatever is sent out into the universe will return like an echo. They thought you were defenseless, not even realizing the shield provided by the protective forces. But they did not realize that when they attacked you, they were acting against a much wider and higher purpose. This was not a fight limited to the human body. It was a conflict aimed at a universal order. In their ignorance and blindness of arrogance, they were doomed to learn the hard lessons of karma, lessons that will unfold in ways they could never have anticipated. Life is sometimes like a crucible, where even the strongest metal is purified, refined, and refined to its strongest form before it takes shape. In the same way, you have gone through a process of spiritual purification in every difficulty you have experienced. You gathered every wound, every lost hour, every quiet moment, and turned it all into the spark of your ascension. Instead of letting it define you, you turned it into a powerful driving force in the service of your development. Like a sculptor sculpting raw stone into shape, you took every negative energy you encountered and transformed it into a force that gave you a higher level of wisdom you had never attained before. Every challenge revealed a new side of your resilience. Every struggle taught you the true meaning of fortitude. Those struggles frustrated every effort to subdue you and became stepping stones that accelerated your inner ascent. It was as if God had a plan in his hands, and every experience served that plan. You learned to use those moments as waves for your growth, when destiny showed you to the audience to watch. This journey was not just about enduring. It was about discovering your potential, unleashing it, and rising higher and higher each time. You refused to be a victim of their attempts to harm you. You became the author of your own story, reshaping each pain with your own hands, with meaning and purpose. You dedicated your soul to a higher purpose and grew stronger with every step. Every obstacle, every difficult moment only hardened your resolve. As each force used against you hit you like a hammer, you became more and more resilient, like a rock strengthened by those blows. And in the process, you built an unshakable foundation. This inner strength has defeated every threat from the outside because you have grown up with that unshakable faith that God has placed in you. Whatever you have gone through, it has prepared you for a greater purpose. It has made you stronger and more solid. So now, dear brother, it is time for us to share God's blessing. If these words have touched your heart, if you want to walk with us on this powerful journey, I would like to offer you the opportunity to support this. By using the Super Thank You button below the video, you can make a donation of $20 or more and help spread this message to the world and help others realize their potential. Know that this donation not only spreads this message, but also supports God's work on earth. Every seed, when it is planted in the ground, is an opportunity to grow, and your generosity is precious in God's eyes. Take a step today and allow God to multiply His abundance in your life. Remember, God's word reminds us again and again of the importance of generosity. In his second letter to the Corinthians, St. Paul said, "Let each one give what he has decided in his heart to give, not reluctantly or under compulsion, for God loves a cheerful giver." 2 Corinthians 9:7. Your donation is a seed planted for a greater purpose. God will continue to lift you up to the heavens as you support Him along the way. Thank you, dear brother. The real lack of wisdom in them was that your purpose is far beyond the surface. You are not here by chance. You have been sent to this world with a specific mission. Those who set out on a higher mission are protected by an invisible shield, even in moments of adversity. This protection that envelops you guides you through every jolt, strengthens you beyond obstacles. In their shallow understanding, they could not see these deep, universal rules. They mocked karma as a fairy tale, denying the intricate fabric of reality. Unwittingly, when they devoted their steps to harming you, they threw themselves into an energy that is difficult to forgive. Their every action triggered a chain of movement that set the stage for an inevitable return, a journey sealed by their own hubris. In the face of adversity, you clung to the power of inner resistance, not allowing external threats to define you. Slowly, you learned to heal your wounds. It was not a process that was completed overnight. Healing was a process of decisive steps and the reshaping of what had been destroyed. Time has left permanent marks on you, but they are not evidence of weakness, but of having survived the tests of life. They were reminders of your fight for survival, symbols of resilience. All that has happened has transformed you. You have lost your old perspective, but with it, you have gained a deeper wisdom. You are no longer vulnerable. On the contrary, you have been strengthened by firm boundaries, built with lessons learned the hard way. The traumas that shook your soul in the past have now become the source of your inner strength. It is precisely these struggles that have made you a self-discoverer and overcomer. That fire shaped you. It destroyed illusions, but left behind a resilient and determined spirit. Those who wanted you to be broken only made you unbreakable. Now the painful scars and unquenchable memories of the past have become monuments that reinforce your inner resilience. They may have hoped to weaken you, but in the end, they only brought out your combative side. This process has equipped you with a strength they never calculated. Their attempts to harm you have actually given you the gift of inner resilience. Are you ready to unlock your limitless potential? The Lapis Inner Collective, created with the support of the Shadow Network, is waiting for you. This is not just a place where wounds are healed. It is a sacred space where those who are rebuilding to discover their own power turn every memory into a seal of determination. Here, by delving deep into modern fate techniques, you will learn how to make the legacy of the past the foundation of the future. You have collected every wound, every lost hour, every silent moment, and turned them into a spark for your own ascension. Instead of letting your experiences define you, you made them a driving force serving your development. Like a sculptor carving stone, you took negative energy and turned it into a force that gave you a higher level of wisdom that you had never reached before. Every challenge has revealed a new aspect of resilience. Every struggle has taught you the subtleties of fortitude. Every effort to suppress you has actually accelerated your inner ascension. It was as if fate was inviting you to follow, and you used all the difficulties as a wave that accelerated your growth. This path was not just about enduring, but about unleashing your potential. You refused to be the victim of their attempts to harm you. You became the author of your own story. You dedicated your soul to a higher purpose and became stronger each time. Every force used against you only hardened your resolve and built an unshakable foundation. To be strong is to be rooted deeper than anyone could have imagined, even in the abysses where life forces you. In the moments when everyone is plotting to defeat you, their hard moves have only made your inner strength shine brighter. While their bickering continued, they were late to recognize the growth in your heart. As they angrily set out to harm you, they failed to realize that their purpose was rotting and crumbling. As they desperately poured their energy into negativity, they missed their own opportunity for progress. Their efforts have come at a heavy price. Over time, that passion within them has become exhausted, has lost its luster, and only pale shadows remain. As they struggled to survive, the forces they mobilized became as uncontrollable as the peace that escaped them. As they struggled to escape, they found themselves facing deeper obstacles. They realized that they could not undo what had happened, and that it was impossible to stop the chaos they had started. Now they live surrounded, not by their own ambitions, but by the mess they created. The uncertainty and disorganization they are lost in is a reflection of the traps they set for themselves. As their experiences unfolded, they showed that ignoring the justice of the universe was a mistake. The path they chose was to harm others, but their decision hit them the hardest. The inevitable cycle of karma delivered its lessons harshly and relentlessly. The pain inflicted on you was sharp and real. The scars of unjust betrayal were deep. The repercussions of their harm were not just material. They left deep scars on your mind, heart, and soul. They gave you a different look in your eyes, made you question the purpose of life and your own worth. But like steel hardened by fire, you grew stronger in the struggle. Alone, with loneliness and pain, you found the seeds of resistance, even in the deepest silence. Night after night, the echoes of their actions occupied your mind. Not only was your faith in them shaken, but also in yourself. These experiences made you see the shadows in people, revealed the dark sides you were afraid to believe in. Your innocent view of the world was left behind. There were moments when you wanted to give up, when you felt the weight of every step, when you believed the road was closed. But deep down, you discovered a spark of inner strength that nothing could break. Even though the world was challenging, there was a fire of resilience that always kept burning inside you. Think of an oak tree. Its roots reach deep. Storms shake its branches, but it remains upright. In the same way you stand, rooted in your faith. You have not accepted the words of those who have tried to define you, because your inner strength is so deeply rooted that no one can reach it. This healing process was not an instant miracle. On the contrary, it was a process of patience, maturing over time and reshaping you. Your scars are like traces of the past, like memories left on the pages of a crumpled book, but you carry them not as a weakness, but as proof of how resilient you are. Every difficult moment has changed you in a profound and lasting way. You now look at the world with completely different eyes, more careful, wiser, more aware. Where you were once vulnerable, you now stand rock solid. Your boundaries used to be vague and fragile, but now you have strong, unshakable lines drawn by hard-won experience. The impact of those deep wounds may still be felt, but that pain has now turned into an inexhaustible source of strength within you. Because the chosen ones are not just born, they are shaped by their experiences and trials. This journey has turned you into a will of steel that misleads those who want to wear you down. Each test shattered illusions and replaced them with a resilience that will never break. Those who wanted to harm you unintentionally turned you into an impenetrable fortress. Over time, they realized that your soul had built a wall of steel. No matter how hard they tried, that wall would not collapse, because that wall was kneaded with faith and reinforced with experience. Now every blow, every effort makes you stronger. That spiritual resilience growing inside you taught you what it means not to bow down to anyone. You were not shaken, you did not collapse, because there was a divine plan protecting you. Every pain, every struggle has created a new hero out of you. The lessons of this life have not been easy, but each one has equipped you with a sacred mission. Yes, those who tried to overthrow you finally realized it. By their own actions, they have built an impenetrable fortress out of you. And now, you are at the top of that impenetrable fortress. You are proud to face the fact that everything was built to bring you to the top. Those who tried to destroy you have retreated, seeing only their own weakness. Because you are a masterpiece of God. Each battle, each wound has made you wiser, more determined, stronger. Now it is time to challenge the world. You walk boldly on the road where everyone else would be afraid and retreat, because the divine power that brought you here is now even closer to you. So, if you have received a piece of this divine inspiration and want to help bring God's victory to the world, take that step now. Make a generous donation of $20 or more by clicking on the Super Thank You button below. Remember, this is not just a donation. This is a step towards spreading God's light. As you support this work, God's blessings will be upon you. Every contribution you give today will be returned to you 1,000 times over tomorrow. Plant a seed now, take your place in God's great plan, and be part of this sacred mission. Thank you. You are living God's miracle. Every challenge is a reminder that reshapes and transforms you. They wanted to bring you down, but all they did was to inflame your inner resilience. Each experience became a building block that brought you closer to your purpose, and their harmful intentions ironically served you. When you are ready to channel and utilize this power within you, the doors to infinite potential will open. This is not just a place of healing, it is a building site where you transform every test into a gift that strengthens you rather than destroys you. The journey promises to equip you with deep inner wisdom and transform old wounds into a source of unprecedented resilience. The effort they once made to defeat you has confronted them with a truth they never expected. An unbreakable spirit is one that grows, takes shape, and never gives up, despite the pressure. In the face of these challenges, you have developed an unshakable inner peace. They tried to do all the evil they could, but they could never touch the sacred power that lies deep within your core. The light that guided you continued to shine through it all, and so you realized that true power comes not from controlling others, but from transforming your own suffering. Your spirit became sharper, your knowledge deeper. You became prepared to meet every obstacle in front of you. Everything you have experienced has given you an understanding and compassion that can only come from great suffering. You now carry a wisdom that others cannot know, that only those who have completed this journey can possess. You can no longer be stopped. Their evil has given you the strength to go further. Every blow has made you stronger. What was once your weakness has become a will that can stand even when you are going through harsh trials. That deep will in you did not just survive. It found its purpose. It became part of a greater divine plan. Every blow that touched you reinforced your faith and placed a sense of strength in your heart. It was as if God walked with you through every difficulty and every pain, prepared you for a holy purpose. Anyone else would have given up, but you did not. That bond in your soul carried you upward like a divine bridge. Every scar became a reminder of a battle that ended in victory. Those who tried to bring you down unwittingly caused their own destruction. Because someone like you was guided by God's hand, even in the most difficult moments. Those harsh trials were actually meant to elevate you. Instead of pushing you into an abyss, your enemy's intentions to harm you pushed you higher, up a mountain. In time, their actions began to turn back on themselves. They learned that everything has a price. The justice of the universe is delayed, but unfailing. In trying to harm you, they lost sight of their own dreams and goals. They were filled with hatred and anger, but this poison destroyed their own potential. They strayed from their path and left behind shattered hopes and unfinished dreams. Their passions, once clear, were extinguished by the heavy hand of karma. They started a storm, but it could only be calmed by a transformation from within. Lost in their own darkness, they sought peace, but it slipped away. Each new attempt led them to a deeper impasse. They ran out of escape routes. Karma was after the traces they left behind. They now realize that they have put themselves at the center of the chain of events they once started. The universal laws they had mocked turned back on them and shook them in ways they never expected. Their choice to do harm unwittingly laid the foundation for their own downfall. Karma inevitably and irrevocably kicked in, merciless and judgmental. There was no escape now, for they were in a trap set not by fate, but by their own actions. Everything that gave them peace was besieged. by the shadow they themselves had called, a shadow that testified to the power of the very soul they had once tried to destroy. The echoes of their actions grew with each passing day, a restless anxiety that haunted their nightmares, a boredom that they could find no relief from. The more they fled, the deeper they found themselves mired. Karma is unforgiving. It does not erase reminders or forget unfinished accounts. Every action they took became the bricks of this never-ending collapse that was being built for them, their future twisted and distorted under the weight of their own decisions. Each attempt emphasized once again that there was no escape from this inexorable cycle. This force refused to leave them alone. They sought support, but one by one, the people around them drifted away. The relationships they had bonded with were broken, forcing them to confront their wrongdoings. Loneliness became their mental prison and held them captive. At night, as their minds filled with regrets and fears, they were crushed under the weight of living in the shadow of what they had done. A question began to echo within them. Could they be cursed? But this was only reaping what they had sown. The walls of the prison they had built for themselves rose with every thought. Every step, every decision was tainted with doubt and paranoia. Think of seeds sown in a field. Every seed planted with the wrong intentions eventually yields only thorns and poisonous plants. So they had to reap the consequences of the seeds they sowed with their own hands. Over time, as the balance of the universe changed, this inner prison became more and more tangible. Their own conscience became a cruel instrument of torture, constantly reminding them of the weight of their past. Each new day became an on-again, off-again struggle with no hope of salvation. Every effort to escape the pain eventually drove them deeper and deeper into it. The darkness they had woven with their own hands gradually descended upon them, and the more they escaped, the more suffocated they felt. Every day, they had to face the consequences of their actions. The dreams that had once been in front of their eyes and that they had thought were within easy reach were gradually dragged far away from them. Even the prospect of future peace was now tainted by the weight of the past and the shadow of the wrongs they had committed. The scales of justice of the universe were determined to balance the scales, and there was no solace for them. The wheels of time continued to turn with a loyalty that did not forget their mistakes. In the end, it was not only the harm they had done to others that they lost. The wounds they had inflicted on their own souls cast a permanent shadow of regret over their lives. This regret was such a shadow that no matter how much they tried to escape, they could never escape. There was no escape from the justice of the universe. Every action had a price, and they had to pay it. They were left with nothing but missed opportunities that they could never get back. The resilience of the powerful spirit they had once tried to destroy remained a silent but unwavering reminder. And here, my friends, is the moment of truth. God's call is ready for you. This is the moment to stand up with courage and embrace the great opportunities God offers. For God's justice is not delayed, and He rewards the faithful. You have planted the right seeds. You have moved forward with love, faith, and faithfulness. Now it is time to see the fruitfulness of those seeds. If this message has touched your heart, and you want to spread the inspiration God has given you to others, there is a simple but powerful way to support it. By clicking the Super Thank You button below, donate $20 or more and help God's Word reach even farther. Every donation is a sacred step towards expanding God's kingdom on earth. Remember, you are precious in God's great plan. Everything is prepared for you, woven together to carry you from victory to victory. Let us make this journey even stronger together. As you overflow with God's love and blessings, His protection will be with you every step of the way. Act now. Become a seed in God's work and become part of a divine legacy. Thank you, and may God always glorify you.